Hi guys, hope we're really well. Today we have the Lost Uber XL or Uber Driver XL. And I only had this out a couple of times, but this has proved to be an absolutely cracking little board. I'm really happy with this board. My analogy for this board is, you know, when you just want a really good cheeseburger and you don't care whether it's got an egg and a pickle and a beetroot and some onions and all the rest of it, you just really just want a really good cheeseburger. This is that in a surfboard. So it's like, if you just want a really good daily driver board, no messing around, no crazy frills, no triple wingers, no quad concaves, no flyers, no blah blah blah, and you just want a really nice outline shape, well blended, and a perfect rocker, this is pretty much it as far as I'm concerned. This one is 6'2", 21, 2 3/4 and 40 litres. It's got some cracking features. It's a really nice squash tail. It's not too pulled in. I think this one's coming in at I think it was like 15 3/4 or something. So it's actually big enough to go in an average wave, but not so big it's in the way. And then the nose is pretty similar. I think the nose on this one comes in about like 14 or something. So it's kind of like the nose is sharp enough to duck dive quite easily, but it's still got the volume in it to paddle really well. And then they've sort of deliberately pared these rails down quite well, so the apex of the rail is actually sitting nice and low. So it's kind of like, it's probably what a lot of guys like me have probably been looking for a while, where you kind of want a sort of, for what we have, you know, this is really as performance as I need to get. So for people like me, this is basically a performance daily driver for small to medium waves pretty much. So yeah, just simple, effective. Like I say, it's the volume's really nice, it paddles great, it's easy to duck dive, you can lay it on a rail really nicely, the tail's out of the way and off. Rocker's just lovely. I really like the rocker. It's just enough to be just right and carry some speed. I quite like a flat tail rocker, and the Driver series has always got like a fairly flat tail rocker, so that suits me well because it's actually got a lot of its own speed built into the board. I went for a 5-fin, but to be honest, you could just ride it as a thruster if you just want to have that simple squash tail thruster. I quite like quads because they go quite well here because the wave's slow, so I usually just get a 5-fin for the sake of it. But I mean, I've only been riding it as a thruster and it goes great. I've just been chucking the large Map Biolis, which actually have been cracking fins, because I've ridden those a few times years ago before FCS2, and they were all right, but lacked a bit of drive. They're quite good because they're deep, so they've got a lot of grip, but they weren't always super drivey or just didn't have that zing to them. And then the new ones just seem to. So actually, in a thruster, I've actually been sort of liking those even more than the Merricks in a couple of boards, which is really good. And obviously it's great because they complement the Lost boards as well. So yeah, and then this actual board was glassed. This is Tommy Dalton up at the boardroom in Gizzy again. So cheers, Tommy. Another beautiful build. It's actually glassed 4 on the bottom and 2 4s on the top. So it's a slightly lighter glassing, but it's just doesn't really feel soft. It still feels good. Some of the boards you see from, I shouldn't name names, but some of the Australian shapers, you see some of the boards that are like a 4-4 or 4 and a 4 or whatever, and they're you just press them and you can just hear them crackling underneath your fingers. But Tommy's build just doesn't feel like that. It feels nearly as solid as my other ones, and the flex is there, and it's a little bit lighter, and it's just perfectly finished, as Tommy always seems to do. So cheers, Tommy. Yeah, that's pretty much about all I've got to say for it, really. I mean, it's just a really great board. It feels confident. You can lay it on a rail properly. Takes drops well. I've been riding it in basically probably waist to overhead waves, and it feels great in all of them, to be honest. I mean, I wouldn't grovel it. You're not going to grovel on it. You're not going to be riding. Realistically, probably for me, it's probably a chest to head high, head and a half maybe waves here locally. It's basically a daily driver, so it's not going to be a gravel board, and it's not going to be a step up board. It's probably going to get a bit squiggly when you get into like powerful waves. It's probably going to be a bit harder to get going when you're in poor waves, but yeah, it's cracking board. Absolutely love it. Really stoked with this. Tommy's done a great job as always. The that's about it really. I'll give you a quick show through the concaves, but it's just kept it simple. It's single double V and it just works really well. So yeah, if you like the Rocket series or the Killer series, if you've got like a Quiver Killer or an older Lost Rocket or anything like that, and you want a squash tail board with a slightly tighter nose and, you know, kind of that performance look, but it's still very forgiving and easy to ride, this is it, I reckon. Yeah, definitely an absolute favourite of mine so far. I've not even had that many rides, but it's just, you know, there's the odd board that you get on and you just put it straight under your feet and it's like, yep, this is right. And all the numbers were right as well. I could have tried to be clever and go the next size down, but with the way the tail, you know, with the slightly more pulled in tail and a little bit narrower than the Killer series, 21's usually fine for me, but I've started getting used to like 21.25 on those Killer series boards. So yeah, great board. I'll just quickly show you the concaves. So going through the concaves on the Uber XL, you can see it's pretty much single up front. Probably not quite as aggressive as a lot of the Lost boards, but I think subtle's better for this kind of board, to be quite honest. So you'll see the single coming up all the way through there, and I'm pretty sure it starts turning into a double inside the single, just up here about 4 or 6 inches before the front of the front fins, and you'll see double going through there, and then it stays as double until you exit the back of the back thruster, and then it's like literally just behind the back thruster fin that you get in this V. So coming back through, you got V there, and then we're on the back of the back fin now, and it's pretty much double. That's where double's fading out, and again double there all the way through the front of the front fins and basically beyond until you get to your sort of belly button, chest, front foot area, and then it's single. But like I say, I'm pretty sure it's a double inside the single with V off the tail. So yeah, pretty nice straightforward concaves. And as I said, if you're looking for this kind of board for daily driver, waist or chest to overhead waves, sort of pretty high performance, I think I don't know, for me, I think you'd struggle to go past it, to be honest. It just does everything really well. So yeah, I'm stoked on it. That's the Uber XL.